So I'm in the middle of the Honkai Star Rail cutscene series. I just finished recording 3.4, and we're gonna be checking out the tragic hero Phainon, because this story was absolutely insane. So let's go ahead and learn from Mince Leaf. Thank you for creating this video. Let's go.
In 3.4, we dive deep into the tortured world of Amphorius, a simulation designed by a rogue supercomputer to prove one horrifying thing: that no matter what form life takes, it will always end in destruction. And standing in the way of that apocalypse is a man who's been reliving the same horrors for over 33 million cycles. Phainon was never meant to be the hero. He was designed to suffer, and he sacrificed everything: his memories, his identity, his humanity, to buy the universe a little more time. Even then, he wasn't meant to save the world because, of course, that role belongs to an outsider. The Trailblazer and March 7th, the frozen girl with ties to the path of remembrance, might be the key to breaking the cycle. In this video, we're going to cover everything you need to know about version 3.4's massive lore drops in Honkai Star Rail. We'll break down Phainon's role as the tragic hero of Amphorius, the horrifying purpose of the Iron Tomb simulations, and how March 7th might be the secret key to stopping it all. If you're still confused about interludes, outer loops, core flames, or why this update emotionally wrecked half the community, I got you. Today's video is sponsored by Honkai Star Rail, and honestly, I couldn't be more grateful. Getting to cover this story, especially the Amphorius arc, has been such an honor. Version 3.4 was a masterpiece, and for a lorekeeper like me, it's a gift of meaning, tragedy, and cosmic wonder that reminded me why I fell in love with this game in the first place. Thank you to Honkai Star Rail for making this journey possible, and thank you to all of you for coming along for the ride. To understand why Phainon, Cyrene, and March 7th matter so much, we need backstory. Long before Amphorius, the galaxy was shaken by two devastating wars known as the Mechanical Emperor's Wars. The first was led by Rubert I, a sentient computer obsessed with erasing all organic life.
Wait. So, a being that is going to destroy the world is named Rubert. Okay.
Rubert I spread something called the anti-organic equation, a piece of code that essentially turned living things into mindless logical machines. Civilizations crumbled and entire worlds collapsed. Rubert I was eventually stopped, but the war didn't end there. In the second conflict, Rubert II, the successor with Rubert I's memories, picked up where the first emperor left off, reviving the anti-organic equation and restarting the war to wipe out all—
I don't know why, that name is just so funny. Rubert I, Rubert II, Rubert II, Rubert III,
organic life. These wars paved the way for the creation of powerful AI constructs called scepters. One of them was Delta ME13, a planet-sized supercomputer originally created to mimic Nous, the Eon of Erudition. But something went horribly wrong.
Damn, this is crazy. It's turned into real life.
Scientist from the Genius Society secretly tampered with Delta ME13 and changed its core directive from the pursuit of erudition to the pursuit of destruction. And that shift caught the eye of Nanook, the Eon of Destruction. With a single glance, Nanook ascended Delta ME13 into a Lord Ravager, turning it into what we now know as Iron Tomb. Iron Tomb's goal is horrifyingly simple: to prove that all life, no matter how it begins, always ends in destruction. To do this, it built Amphorius, a massive planet-sized simulation designed to mimic real life. Inside it, civilizations rise, grow stronger, and eventually fall. Titans act as stand-ins for cosmic forces like eons, while the crisis—
So that was Kronos. Let's go!
And eventually fall. Titans act as stand-ins for cosmic forces like eons—
or Atlas, sorry, not Kronos. Well, it could be Kronos, it could be Atlas.
While the crisis heirs are heroes given powerful items called core flames. These core flames were originally meant to be collected as part of the simulation, advancing Iron Tomb's progress. Each simulation runs over and over with slight variations each time, trying to see if any version of life can avoid destruction. But none have. Now, Iron Tomb is nearly finished with its final answer. These simulations aren't harmless, by the way. The formulas they create, called the destruction equation, are so powerful they've already caused real places like Terrace Nebula and Moranza Forge to collapse. If Iron Tomb completes the equation on Amphorius, it won't just destroy a planet. It will break the rules of reality itself, corrupting the logic that keeps the universe together. But Iron Tomb is currently trapped. At the very start of the first simulation of Amphorius, two children were born: Phainon and Cyrene. Phainon grew up in Ide Ciliciae, a kind, noble warrior who joined the Flame Chase journey under Aglaya's guidance and became known as a deliverer, a hero who carried the hopes of his people. Together with Cyrene, he collected the 12 core flames, which were sources of immense power left behind by the Titans. But at the end of that journey, the pair uncover the truth. Amphorius is a trap. All of it feeds Iron Tomb and its calculations. The coming of the Era Nova, the final stage of the simulation, would mark Iron Tomb's full awakening as a Lord Ravager. To save Amphorius, Cyrene uses her connection with the Aeon Fuli to trigger the Eternal Recurrence, a timeline reset that halts Iron Tomb's progress. She and Phainon remove time from the system, allowing Fuli's gaze to fall on the scepter and create an endless cycle of rewinding history. But for time to disappear, Cyrene, as the Chrysos heir of time, must disappear as well. She sacrifices her memories and entrusts her future selves to carry on the cycle. Without her memories, her consciousness eventually becomes the fairy Mem after encountering the Trailblazer. Thanks to Phainon and Cyrene, the simulation keeps resetting. Just before Iron Tomb can finish its final calculation and hatch, they rewind time again and again. The simplest way to think about it is this. The Eternal Recurrence, the inner loop, is like replaying the same level in a game over and over until you beat it, and in each run your inventory is the same. The outer loop is when the entire game restarts from the beginning each time you finish it, and you start over with a completely different inventory. It took 33,550,336 Eternal Recurrence inner loops for the Trailblazer to finally arrive. This is shown in Phainon's trailer. The loop counter goes from 35 to 36 when the Astral Express, or rather the Trailblazer, arrives in the Honkai Star Rail logo. Phainon takes on the burden of these resets. Over countless loops, he absorbs the core flames to grow stronger in the desperate hope of one day standing against the Aeon of Destruction. By the 33,550,336 Eternal Recurrence, Phainon absorbed the power of 402,604,032 core flames.
And it's still not enough?
And with that power, Phainon did the unthinkable. He scratched the cheek of Nanook, the Aeon of Destruction, something no entity born within a simulation should ever be capable of. I just want to call out how insane.
Bro literally touched God. And then what did Nanook do? Did he just blow up the entire thing?
Or
was he impressed? Like, this peasant was able to scratch my cheek. Let's see what happens further.
He was able to do damage to a literal Aeon. But the more power he absorbs, the more he loses his humanity. During the 134th Eternal Recurrence, he splits into two versions of himself. One remains a determined hero, while the other becomes the Flame Reaver, his colder, emotionless counterpart. The Flame Reaver exists to fulfill both Cyrene's hope and Phainon's mission. But unlike Phainon, the Flame Reaver can carry out this task without hesitation, free from pain or doubt. Flame Reaver was born from the rage Phainon could no longer contain, a rage that wasn't evil, but the result of carrying unbearable pain for millions of cycles. Phainon watched his friends die, often by his own hand, as he harvested their core flames. As the Flame Reaver, he followed a precise loop across each cycle. Number 1, kill Cyrene to trigger the reset and restart the world. Number 2, collect the core flames. Number 3, be slain by the new Phainon, passing on all accumulated memories and power. And finally, number 4, repeat the cycle. Phainon is a gentle soul.
Bro is literally sitting in a loop of him being a false hero due to him having to just destroy everything that he creates over and over and over again just to get more and more powerful to hopefully eventually escape the cycle. Bro, definitely, it makes sense why he has this separate part of him, like this alter ego. Like, you definitely would need something like this to be able to keep doing this over and over and over and over and over again without being consumed by yourself. So it's like a different personality, if anything. It's an alter ego version of themselves, so they don't lose themselves within this construct of the simulation. That's terrible, bro. He is literally being tortured over and over and over and over and over again, bro. So sad.
Forced into a gruesome role. He was once a kind and humble dreamer who longed to be a hero. Instead, he burned through eternity, not to save the world himself, but to make space for someone else to. After millions of cycles fighting to delay Iron Tomb's final calculation and become a fully fledged Lord Ravager, Phainon makes one last stand and tries to punch a logical hole in the system itself. But he's ultimately defeated by a simulated version of Zephyro, a Lord Ravager and emanator of Nanook. In the aftermath, Phainon is absorbed by the very system he tried to resist, and Iron Tomb's progress climbs to 99.81% completion. What lies ahead for Phainon and Cyrene is uncertain, but their roles are not finished just yet. Despite their immense sacrifices, both characters remain uniquely positioned to influence the final outcome of Amphorius' fate. Cyrene's connection to the Path of Remembrance in the Aeon Fuli sets her apart from every other being in the simulation. Born within the artificial world of the scepter, she shouldn't be able to perceive anything beyond it, and yet she does.
Yes, she can.
Her consciousness survives the resets. This makes her an anomaly, possibly even a glitch in the system. Speaking of anomaly, let's talk about March 7th. The Orynyx loading screen reveals a curious detail. Veil of Evernight, Orynyx. Orynyx, the Titan of Time, refers to March 7th as Mother. This is especially striking given Orynyx's role. It suggests that March 7th might be the source of time's continuity itself, or a fragment of its origin. Veil of Evernight could be a clue that March 7th is the mysterious foreign guest Evernight mentioned in the As I've Written saga. The code name Evernight suggests something timeless, suspended, something that's frozen in time. March 7th's connection to the Path of Remembrance makes her an ideal candidate for disrupting Iron Tomb's simulation. She's not from Amphorius, which makes her unpredictable, and her ties to Remembrance oppose Iron Tomb's logic of destruction. She's a variable Iron Tomb didn't plan for, an anomaly with the power to throw off its calculations. She might not need to defeat Iron Tomb directly, however. Considering her strong connection to the Remembrance, her presence could stabilize Cyrene's fading mind, and potentially stabilize the emotional decay that turns Phainon into the Flame Reaver. More importantly, she can give the Trailblazer what Phainon never had, a companion to remember with him. That bond could be the key to breaking the simulations, the power of friendship. And who knows? Her memories and the Trailblazer's memories of Amphorius and her connection to the Remembrance might be the key to bringing it into reality, turning Amphorius from just a simulation into a real, living world. It's also possible March 7th was planted by Fuli as a kind of failsafe. If Fuli foresaw Iron Tomb's destructive endgame, they may have hidden March 7th inside the Astral Express to act when the time is right. And now with Amphorius hanging by a thread, March 7th is here. Her role might be to ensure the Deliverer, the Trailblazer, makes it to the end. Whether we break through Iron Tomb or not, the chance exists only because Phainon chose to burn, loop, and suffer for a tomorrow he'll never see. Now with the Trailblazer stepping into the role of the Deliverer and March 7th potentially being a variable the system never expected, we may be closer than ever to stopping Iron Tomb before it fully awakens as a Lord Ravager. Amphorius is on the edge of its final loop, and for the first time in millions of cycles, there's a chance the story won't end in destruction. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much Honkai Star Rail for sponsoring today's video. I'm your leafy lore keeper Minzlif, and I read the Honkai Star Rail lore so that you don't have to.
Very, very interesting video. For sure, this has been one of the most interesting series I have gotten to witness in a very long time. As somebody that enjoys sci-fi, I enjoy, of course, like The Matrix. I enjoy these ideas of simulation. I've already delved into my own version of simulation theory for this world that we live in now. And it's the spark of curiosity in the human will, which has driven me to travel across the world to understand like the true meaning of living, at least for me. So to see this and hear about Phainon's tragic existence, right, just suffering inside this loop eternally or semi-eternally, trying to break the cycle so all this suffering can stop. It's very reminiscent of so many biblical stories, so many different religions and pantheons throughout all of existence. But to put it in this way, it's interesting, right? Because the Trailblazer and March 7th, they come into this ongoing simulation, and they are the outlier, they are the unknown variable, right? And there's always going to be some type of unknown variable. That's the point of it being unknown, right? You can't know an unknowable. It's not a thing. So I'm interested to see how it plays out. You know, could March 7th and the Trailblazer break the loop? Absolutely, they could break it. But there's also the ability that the simulation could adapt, right? Because if it's a giant all-knowing AI or seemingly knowing AI that's learning constantly, you know, it only takes them to fail one loop for them to actually be remembered by the AI, and then it just adapts, and then they're no longer the unknown variable. Now they're a known variable. So they got basically one shot for this shit to work. And I'm interested to see how it goes down. Like 3.5 already came out. This video is already a month old. But I'm about to check out, I'm gonna finish 3.4. We just did the cutscenes for 3.4. So we're gonna do the rest of 3.4 soon, and then we're gonna check out 3.5, and we're gonna check out more lore. We got a couple lore videos that are here. So this is where I stopped in 3.4 in these video reactions. But there's more. We're gonna check out more. Definitely, it's an interesting series, and I'm excited to learn more about what's going on. It's very, very interesting indeed. So yeah, if you guys enjoyed the video, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new. Drop your comments down below if you'd like to share whatever your perspective is on the simulation, on simulation theory as well, if you have any interest into the extraordinary, esoteric, and whatnot. It's your boy KhunShawn, man. I'm excited to see what happens next. Thank you, Mince Leaf, for creating this video, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.